Hey everybody, welcome back to This Old Trike. Today, we're doing something we've never done before. Let me show you what it is. We have taken on a restoration project for a customer, and I have never done that before. I've turned a lot of people away. A lot of people have reached out to me and asked if I would do work for them, and I tell them I've got too many projects on my own to do, and I can't get to all of those, so I can't really take on other people's work. But when my new friend Joe reached out to me in December of 2023 and told me he had something he wanted me to restore, I said, "Nah, sorry, sir, I don't do that." But what's the machine? And he said it was an 86 350X, and those have a sweet spot in my heart. And I said, "Can you send me some pictures?" Long story short, I said, there's no way I would even be able to touch that until after my event in August of 2024. Probably September 2024 might be the soonest I'd be available. And I threw out a number to him halfway to scare him away, and he asked when I could start. So that's kind of how things went, and he followed back up with me, and here it is. Some questions I'd asked of him early on were, what do you want to do with this? Is this a restoration? You're looking for OEM stuff? Because I'm not Mike Palmgren. I'm not Scott Schemming. I'm not Travis Gisclair or the guys out there that are the main people that restore these. What are you looking for? And he said, I just want it freshened up. I want it to look nice and fresh again. I said, okay, do you want a 400EX carburetor on it from 223 cycles? And he said, yeah, that sounds good. Make it start easier. Do you want me to throw this front tire in the snowbank and make that go away and put a Serwa tire on the front? It does have these beautiful tires on the back. I said, if you're going to ride this, you want to put Serwa tires on the back too, because they've got the best reproduction clone tire that you can put on a machine like this. And he said, yeah, I'm up for that. Are we going to source a steel tank? Yeah, we're going to source a steel tank. We've taken off the front skid plate to do an inspection. I'll explain that later, but it didn't have a rear skid plate. And I said, are we going to get an ATD ATC skid plate on the back? And he said, yep. Had a headlight guard. We've done a little bit of inspection, like I mentioned, and I'll take this in the shop and I'll show you what some of that revealed. And let's pick this up in there. So as I mentioned, he's not really looking for complete OEM spec. We're going to put Meyer fenders on it. We're going to send that seat out to Cosmic Quads and have Tammy put a new seat cover on it and make it look like $1 million. We're going to ditch this DG exhaust, which is all corroded up. We're going to put an Empire on it. We are going to plate all the hardware. OEM steel tank. We're going to reach out to Mike Palmgren and get some handlebars for this buddy. We're going to see if this will come back to life. If not, we'll get a reproduction from Mike Palmgren. We're going to powder coat the frame. We are going to do a bunch of stuff. But first, before we can do that powder coating, we've got an issue to tackle. I've never seen this before. This is the spot on an 85 that is notorious for cracking. They changed something in 86 and it was more robust and it resisted cracking. But this is rotten here and down here. And it's got a hole up here. So that section of the frame needs some major attention. So what we're going to do is reach out to Swamp Outlaw, Noah Olson, and get a gusset kit to make this strong in all the other joints, because even if we repair this, the question will remain, what are the other joints of the frame like that we can't tell? So we'll strengthen it up anywhere we can. Empire exhaust, did I say that? Meyer fenders, rebuild the forks, rebuild the rear shock, make it look like $1 million. But today, the whole process starts with teardown, so we are going to get after it. Okay, we've pulled the tank, we've pulled the bars, we've pulled the headlights. We have been going at it. I'm about to pull that front fender and then start getting the airbox out and the carb and exhaust and whatnot. So just wanted to do a quick update. This has been not bad to work on so far. It's been neat, and I've pointed out a couple different ways. Like it's got everything you'd hope for it to have, all the little stuff. And, with a couple minor exceptions, we got a missing bolt here. Who knows? That's probably sheared off in the frame, but it's pretty complete. So we're just going to continue tearing her on down, get her a little more naked. And we've been putting hardware and platables into this container over here. We're going to make those look nice when those are all said and done. Like this I had plated. It's all going to be bright and shiny and look like all the hardware on this thing. So that'll be the goal, to make this kind of look on par with this. And here we go. We have gotten the foot pegs off, the airbox, the carburetor, everything kind of east of the motor on the subframe, the muffler. And next I want to tackle the nuts that hold on the header, warm those up nice and hot before I start tweaking them. I don't want to shear the studs. I'm going to order all new studs anyway, so it's not a big deal if they do shear, but I don't want to booger up the head, because that is a perfect spot to do a big whoopsie, and I don't want to do that. But had to apply a little heat on that lower foot peg bolt, but that came out nice. Nothing has stripped. The only thing I had to ruin was this band clamp. That's the band clamp for the snorkel tube from the carburetor to the airbox. That's on the airbox side. She did not want to back out, and once I applied a little torque to it, I realized why, because it had pretty much given up the ghost. But we're gonna go after that motor, get that out next, starting with the header pipe. So here we go. Okay, it's motor extraction time. not much left now. So, swing arm and loosen up the axle bolts, shock, home stretch really, some rubbers to get out. And then we can look at this frame and call it a day. It's about that time. Probably 45 minutes left. Okay, here's where we're going to stop for the day. Let's do a little inspection. We're letting some Croil seep in there to our brake rotor mount. I can't get that to slide off for me like I want it to, and I'm starting to get a little frustrated, so I'm going to take a break. And because this is oriented bolt side down, I can't get that shock out. But so we are going to take the spring off the shock, refurbish the shock in appearance. The shock did bounce. Well, it didn't bounce, but it worked as intended. So we're just going to clean it up, make it look nice, and put new powder coat on that spring and put it back on. Powder coat for this, obviously. You see the skid plate mount that we're going to have to repair. So other than that, I don't see anything giving us a big time with this. I did notice, I thought it was a OEM carrier, just I guess I'd never looked at it, but that's not an OEM carrier. I don't recognize that from anything, but we'll put on a new one because I don't trust that. I was just going to put new bearings in the old carrier. The chain slide looks really good actually, so we'll clean that up. Get that, new decals from Blue Line. And then there's this thing. So you see the hole down in there. You see this crack. We got rot there. That's a hole. That's all full of rot. That was behind the clamp. Oy, oy. I don't know if that's got a little bend to it. I mean, but if it's doing that there, what's the inside of that look like? How much is left? And then look at this. This is a repair from some time ago. Yeah, that black, that's the inside of the frame. I can see the inside there. That's all inside of the frame. That's all inside of the frame. There's like a gusset that was cut out. I don't know why you would do such a thing. It would look like that sort of gusset. And that's your foot peg. That's your rear foot peg mount. And a pivot point for your rear brake. This thing's eaten all up. I didn't know if I was looking at the inside of the frame in there. I think it's just a shadow. But this frame has got cancer very badly. I can see in there. Probably can't see because of the light, but there's inside of the frame. I don't feel good about this frame, and I know he's got a title on it, but if he wants it to be rideable, I don't feel good about just prettying up what's there. That's sheared off. That was gone when he delivered it. I didn't shear a bolt, so that was good. I'm surprised these aren't rotted right out. Who knows when you powder or sandblast this thing what you'll see. But motor came out, you saw that. The fork slid out. You saw that on time lapse, but the fork slid out super duper easy. Probably the easiest forks I've ever pulled out, which was funny. It's interesting on these jobs, what's easy and what's not. I've got my container of hardware to plate the tote of parts. These answer bars are going to go somewhere, that DG exhaust. If anybody's interested in that, I'll probably be selling that for him. I don't know what I'm going to do with this front fender. I don't think he's keeping anything I'm not using, but I'll check in with him. There you have it. That's about 4 hours worth of work. I think it's a little bit more than that. I got to look at my clock and keep track of my time. This is a new thing. I'm actually going to see how long it takes me to do something. So yeah, between that and a bunch of parts ordering, I know I'm up over 5 hours. So stay tuned. We still have 3 custom 70s going to be built behind me somewhere. 88 Big Red to build. All the things. And a dining room table for my wife. Still coming. I don't know what's wrong with me. But thank you for watching.